Son of the Dead by Winston Galt. Prologue. Somewhere in the night something was being killed in Eden, and the sounds of its death pall briefly overtook the hammering rain. The mother turned back, lifting only the edge of her moss-green hood to peer into the endless forest that surrounded her hiding place. Couched within the hollow of an elder beech tree, veiled by a mound of glassy rubble, the wind carved wounds in the tangled canopy overhead, through which spilled icy sheets of rain like the blood of a cold, dead giant. The warm bundle in her arms made a pealing cry against the cold and moaned pitifully with plump little fingers for his mother's hand, yet they found nothing. The mother did not move. Her eyes darted across the thicket and through the torrent of water. The baby wailed and screamed, cold even against her chest, but the mother sat poised, transfixed upon the hidden path that they lightly traveled. The trees were thick in this land, yet not so dense and haunted as to guarantee their privacy. Eyes keen against the grasping wall of branches, she stood suddenly, as still and silent as the discarded statues that marked this forgotten place. The forest was old, very old, squealing and groaning in inhuman wooden pitch under the contortions of the storm. Surely, animals would have returned to their holes, not that anyone dared venture this far into the forest. None, not even the beasts, would bear witness to their dark purpose. Casting her head into the rain, she sat along to the next point of her journey, stepping from the forgotten barrier stones and the nameless tree, past overspilling ravines, through coiled titan roots. She moved swiftly but carefully, making certain not to harm her baby. The track was long and overgrown, cast with many more barrier stones, shining white under the flash of lightning. She slid between their oily bellies like a green tongue between swollen gray tonsils. The baby whined in fear, but the mother took no notice nor care. She passed swiftly, silently, stepping foot over forgotten stones and soon forgotten bones. Only the dead would witness what was to come. The baby moaned and burbled when she passed the first array of skeletal graves, shiny and algae-greened from the drowning rain. He made a little sound of fear for something he could not name with his tiny mind, and she held him close. Before them, the little lantern was hooded to one direction, and she never let it shine behind her, lest they be spotted amid the tree line. A capable spy could mark their trail even in this unnatural storm. Lightning made its flash and cannon blast high within the swollen clouds, which only engorged and wept furious streams as she ascended. When she spied the second corpse and its delicate ribs jutting from the mud, she knew the end was close. They were thin ribs, its jawless skull unmarred and nearly grown. It might have been a young girl once, one who perished close to their destination. The mother's pace quickened, yellow lantern light sliding over the gentle giant face of a false goddess long forgotten. Where the skeleton lay, its hands clasped at her stony feet, forever praying in morbid, futile stillness. The rain ran rivers of amber down the statue's ancient, sightless eyes, and in the half-reality of the twitching blackness, she looked almost alive. A stone maiden weeping her martyr's tears for the dozen of pitiful skeletons at her feet. Skulls and ribs crunched and crumbled underfoot, outnumbering the fallen branches in the mire. It was very close now. The field of bones expanded beyond, into the dark, and the mother pressed on, content that her pursuers would not dare follow this far. The tree line had broken, and howling winds scalded coal against her pale and stoic face. This is where the gambit would be made. An ancient gate of black stone now stood before her. The castle it had guarded long ground to ruins and rubble by the cruelty of another age. A place that only she would know, and only she would ever dare return. All that remained were the once grand doors and its skeletal hinges, bloody with rust. They screeched and whined in the gales of wet wind as she approached the entry, stopping low below the stone gargoyles perched above its edifice, their eyes of green glass laughing with foreboding mirth. The tunnel before her bore downwards into the earth, open-mouthed like a shallow grave. Her baby squirmed. The hole droned like a great black throat, toothy with time-hewn stone. It was apparent that the curse was yet upon this place, yet even after all this time it was as dark as it was masterful, a wretched, unwilting thing, forever waiting upon its maker's will. She smiled in the lamplight. Perfect. The mother's voice echoed softly down and into the hole, through the shadowed corners long left undisturbed. "I give you this," she said. Her baby cried once more, his newborn body shivering against the cold, his heartbeat a flickering candle in the abyssal blackness. The mother stood with him a moment, her lantern doused, and placed him, mewling and drenched upon the stone floor, just beyond the black doorway. Shrieking for his mother, he balled his pink fists and pawed the open air, blinded and abandoned. But she was already gone when the gate shut tightly closed upon him, silencing his wails behind their malformed doors. And he was heard no more, unknown to anyone but her, and forgotten by none. Somewhere, far away, something was being killed and eaten, and the sounds of its death pall briefly overtook the thunder overhead.